personal life, and we will deprioritize those who never interact with COE. They're only here for book hoarding or something else, but or freebies. But if they're not actively participating, they are not the candidates we want in the COE. So I'm going to make this message very, very clear in every single group that we have. So we want more and more interaction to happen.
Yeah, we are now.
So Prem said, we are live now?
Yeah.
Excellent. So thank you, Prem, for doing this, setting this up. And I know that you work very hard, and we did not get a chance to speak often, but great work, Prem. Um, with that, it is time to introduce our legendary speaker, Vaishnavi Muralikrishnan. She has done a great job on COE. She would introduce herself and tell us what all things we do in the library group, or the read group we call it, and what is the purpose of today's seminar. So I will leave it to Vaishnavi's good hands to give us an overview of that, and then get started. Over to Vaishnavi.
Yeah. Thank you, Arun. Thank you, Prem, for setting this all up. And thank you for the beautiful introduction. So, hi, everyone. I'm glad you're here. I'm Vaishnavi Murali Krishnan. I am a DBA engineer, DevOps engineer. I work in Tata Communications here in Chennai, so that's my professional background. And I've been doing this book club session since I think it's been a year. And it started out to address challenges and perspectives that we face outside the office and within the office, but something that is not often spoke about in the workplace. So that is how we are now here to pick up a book and start reading, because I've heard from people during these sessions that they are trying to build a habit of learning, or they are trying to build a habit of reading more books. So in order to get that started and to justify the group's name, I've decided to pick up a book, read along with you all, and then share your perspectives and my perspectives, and have a discussion, so that this habit of a reading book becomes consistent. When you have a group like this, you have the opportunity to push yourself to read, and that is the whole purpose of this session.
And
Yeah.
Vaishnavi, some people ask us, where can I find a copy meant for internal purposes, meant for reading? Where do I find it exactly? And then the other question people ask is, Vaishnavi, you're so smart. Do I need to be a scholar to participate in the seminar?
Yeah, okay. So the first question, if you're part of the book club WhatsApp group, you could find the link to the library in the group's description, where all the books that have been shared in the book club, and every book that I will be reading, you will be reading, you could find all those books, PDFs, in the shared directory. So that is the first answer. And to address your second question, no, I'm not a scholar either. And I haven't read this book. I'm not someone who reads self-help books or any popular books that you want to pick up. I'm someone who reads for pleasure. And I'm not a voracious reader that I'm like carrying 10 books at a time. So no, I read when I want to read, but somehow it has become a habit because I started enjoying reading. And I want everyone to read, because reading is just, it's not about how, uh, it's not to glorify the habit forming, but when you read, you could understand yourself better, and everything around you becomes clearer. So there's so many different aspects to reading than just to appear as a scholar. So I'm not a scholar.
Vaishnavi,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Vaishnavi. I have one more question that the students have typically asked. The question is, like, some days I get no time to read. On other days, when I'm a little bit free from either my college work, or my if I'm a working professional or from office work, I get maybe 1 hour to read during the entire week. Or either people say this, or they say, hey Vaishnavi, this week I didn't do anything, but I intend to pick on this thing. I was inspired by the seminar. I will pick up this habit again. What's your message to people that are very busy, or people that want to take it up, but they feel that 15 minutes of reading every day will be difficult for them. So how did you pick up this habit, and how do you give a message to them?
Okay, yeah, I wanted to address that. So in this group, in these sessions, I listed down a few chapters that we will be discussing. So feel no pressure to have read all that in advance, because um, I understand we all have our own schedules. And even if you did not read, even if you had just read the first 2 pages, it is completely okay to participate in these sessions, because the objective of these sessions is to make yourself read even those first 2 pages, because that itself is a victory for me. And even if we are on discussing chapter 9, and if you're still on chapter 2 or 3, that is also fine, because at the end you've still read a few chapters, and that is the win for me. So, and also picking up
Uh,
time. Yeah.
no, no, you're good. You're good. I was going to ask you later. Why was this particular book picked up? Because we have done many books in the past in various ways. What determined the choice of this one book? And can the second question being, can audiences in the read group or any other group that have joined us or will join us next time, how do we suggest like book names that can we suggest our own book names as well, that and we can do a poll on which ones can be taken up next time? What is your opinion on that?
Yes, totally. They can definitely recommend books. The only reason I picked up this particular book was it was selfish. I have never read this book, and I've seen a lot of people read this book and talk about how great it is. And I wanted to check it out for myself, and I wanted a reason, because I'm not just gonna like pick up a self-help books and like sit down and read it and become 1,000 times better. So it was a selfish reason. But I could see a lot of people relate to that, and a lot of people want to read those self-help books. They pick it up, but they just can't stick with it, because it is
You know,
not very
yeah,
entertaining.
even for me, Vaishnavi, after a long time. I really appreciate this book. I've read it, I think last year sometime. I not remember, but it'd be great to have this refresher with you. So I'm very excited about today, and let's begin.
Yeah. So a little background about this book. It is power packed. I mean, with every single line, there is a lot to consume. So even if you read this book once, you might forget it. You will forget it after a few months, and there are a lot of things to miss out too. The goal is not just to read, the goal is to absorb what you're reading. So don't feel overwhelmed by the amount of information in each page. And I'm here to help you as well. So if you want to discuss even the tiniest part, a little word or a phrase or something, feel free to discuss it. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here. And let's get this started. So, what is this book about? Why is everyone talking about this? You know how in the when we were kids, we were always taught to build better habits. So, in my mind, talking from my perspective alone, I have often associated the word habit with discipline, because it has to be very strict. If you're going to stick with the habit, you have to like hustle hard. You have to work. You have to grind. You have to work so hard to just stick with your habits. So there's always a negative energy, or let's say not a very positive energy associated with forming habits. But somehow this author has broken down all the myths and perceptions about habit forming to become a better person. Um, to use words that appropriately covers the book is to become the person that you've always wanted to be. So that is, let's say, the objective of James Clear writing this book. So we are all data professionals, right? So being in the data community, I'm assuming everyone's a data professional here, and our target audience is also that. So we are all data professionals, and every day we want to learn something, because there's always new technology, new challenges, and there are new business requirements as the business grows, as the data grows. You have to uh, bring out new techniques and new methods to better handle the requirements of your everyday job, right? So you're constantly learning. So addressing this entire session from that point of view, let's say you want to you're a data analyst, right? You're into SQL, you build dashboards, but now there is a new requirement that's coming up in the industry, and your company is trying to adapt to it. They want data scientists. They want experienced data professionals who are data scientists, not just someone who they don't want to pick someone off the market. So what they say, they ask you if you can pick up data science courses, and if you can do it, and we'll offer you a promotion, we'll bring you to the new team, we'll keep you in building projects, ML projects, and all those advanced topics. You're a data analyst, you have never used Python code, but you know how it works. But now we want to become a full-fledged professional data scientist. You pick up the books, you pick up the courses, and every day you return home after your regular data analyst role, and you look at the courses and experiences and things, the roadmaps and everything. You're so overwhelmed. Where do you go? How do you pick up the right source, or how does one become the person that they want to be with everyday challenges that are already around them? So that is the core of the first few chapters of this book. Um, okay. So the opening line that I would want to present here is, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So James Clear starts by talking about goals. Let's say I'm a data analyst and I now want to become an ML engineer, and my goal is to become an ML engineer. And he says, no, that is wrong. That is not how you think. Your goal is to become a professional who writes codes every day, who builds machine learning models every day to address business problems. That is exactly how you should approach becoming someone, than just sticking to the role title, or sticking to the tags and everything. Every day, if you let's say you pick up HackerRank to practice your Python coding, every day if you do 15 minutes of coding, at the end of the year, you will become so much better than you working hard for a week, putting in hours and hours of coding, and then at the end of the week you feel exhausted, and you have not you have not you have not become the coder that you want to be. You're not building machine learning models in the end of the week. So that is where we lose track. When you build habits, when you work on becoming better 1% every day, at the end of the year, let's just say 6 months to be to be more practical, because that is how we take to transition. I mean, more than 6 months in the data roles, I don't think that is practical. But let's say keep it to 6 months, and if you're working hard on your Python coding just 15 minutes or 30 minutes every day, at the end of 6 months, you will become so much more better than you doing focused work for, let's say, 8 hours a week. That is the whole point. I know it sounds, let's say, strenuous. It sounds very difficult to keep up with. 15 minutes a day, every day for 6 months. That is a long time of working hard. But the truth is, you're not working hard. When you do 15 minutes of coding, let's say, you will not feel tired at all. You will not feel exhausted. And at maybe the end of the month, it would have been incorporated into everyday habit. It will not even feel like work. It'll just become a part of your routine. So that is what the first chapter is about. You build habits that directly results in your goals, instead of you become obsessing over becoming someone. So if you're become, let's say you want to get transition into a managerial role. So in that sense, you're still a senior engineer or someone else who's uh, working on projects, and now you want to transition into managerial role. In that sense, every day you work and train a part of yourself in your workplace to carry out the responsibilities of a manager, not directly, but in some sense, you take responsibilities, you take ownerships wherever you can, and you incorporate it into your everyday work, so that maybe at the end of a month, you will get the feeling of, you know, becoming a manager, of working in the position of managing a few people. So that is how you incorporate into your brain, your conscious mind, that you're a manager. You start believing yourself that you're a manager, because let's say you're trying to break a bad habit. Let's say you're trying to quit smoking, is what the let's say you're trying to quit caffeine, or you're trying to read. So even if you read 2 pages, even if you don't smoke for a couple of days, even if you didn't drink coffee every day, it is okay if it's just for 2 days. You have to believe that you're a person who doesn't drink coffee, and you have to believe you're someone who's made to become a manager. You're a manager already. You're managing a few people. You're guiding a few junior engineers. So that should your belief system should be rooted in the fact, in the essence of the kind of person that you want to become. Instead of you I'm trying to become a manager, I'm trying to quit smoking, or trying to quit caffeine, or you're trying to become a reader. That is not the phrase, the sentence that you should use when you're in your conversation, in your conversations, or even when you're thinking to yourself. You have to believe that you're a manager. You have to believe that you're a reader. You read 2 pages. That itself should say that you're a reader. So whatever we believe is what our brain or mind tries to work towards. So when you say you're a reader and you've read 2 pages and you're discussing with this group or someone, the next day your brain will try hard. Your brain will automatically start working towards keeping up with the persona that you built for yourself, which is very cool, because it says a lot. It says that you can become anyone you want to be. You just have to believe that you're someone who is capable of doing that, and you attempt a few times to become that person. And when you when you openly start to believe that you're that person, you start working towards it to keep up with your word. That is as simple as it can be. One example that I can give from my own experience is when I was studying. I was not, when I was at school, people would say you have to work harder, you're not doing enough, this won't fetch you the good college, or this won't get you, you will not be able to make it to the real world if you're if you're not good at studying, you have to do maths, this, that. Yes, I was not an excellent student, but I did what to keep me at school. And now, when I actually wanted a job, I started working towards it out of panic, out of fear of being held back. I started learning. I didn't actively think about becoming a learner. I did not think about getting a job, but I know this is what I have to do to get a job. I have to study. I have to learn Python. I have to do all these DSA questions. After a few months, people started referring to me as this person who always studies, which was new, which was not my goal. I was not preparing or planning to become this first bench student or anyone. But somehow, in the process of me working towards my goals, I actually become the person who would work towards achieving goals. I'm not a hard worker. I didn't used to be a hard worker, but now it has become my identity. And I'm so grateful that I've found my identity around learning, around picking up new things, about upskilling and everything, because it has helped me so much in the long run. Because it was not easy when I first started to learn, or this was new. Studying is hard, and everyone knows that it's not easy to study every day, and to study during weekends was very hard, because you work 9 hours every day, and then you come to you weekend comes, all you want to do is just lie in bed, which feels so good. I'm not gonna deny that it just feels so good to just lie on your bed the entire Saturday and Sunday and not do anything, and then return Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, do your regular work, and then that's how it goes. But when I started to study and I see what it's bringing to me, I've become this person who's excelling at stuff, who's standing out at my everyday work. I'm not just I've embraced my identity of this person who works towards what she wants, even during the weekends. That is as simple as that. It doesn't have to be very outright systematic boring attitude that you bring to the table. It could just become part of your identity when you start to believe it, and when you start working towards it every single uh, day you have got. It doesn't have to be scheduled, it doesn't have to be systematic, but we have a day today, and I have 30 minutes today, and I'm just going to focus on coding. I'm just going to focus on this one HackerRank question. That's what I did. I picked up one HackerRank question. For a professional, it would take like 5 minutes, barely 5 minutes to complete it. But for someone who's starting out, it would take 20, 30 minutes to figure out the problem. And that is completely okay. And even if it's very small DSA problem, I would sit, I would solve it. I still do because I want to keep practicing Python. I like Python. But this could apply to any professional. If you're a data analyst and you're shifting to a data engineering role and you're learning Azure, um, even if it is attending the sessions every week, if you're not if you couldn't find the time to practice it yourself and you're attending the COE sessions, it could turn out to be so much beneficial than you just beating yourself up for not practicing it for hours and hours every week. And little steps is the focus of you becoming a better person. Overnight success is a myth. And if someone says they've become an overnight success, it's only because they've done days and months of work. And then that 1% of work that is like the threshold level, they exceed it at one night. And that just becomes overnight success. Yeah, Arun?
I was just going to say that, a lot of times students find themselves demotivated in the sense that they have studied like 4 days a week, or they practice 3 days a week on either data engineering, data science, data analysis, financial analysis, uh, and what will they be? Sometimes when you want to take a break from the regular practice stuff, and you are ready to listen to something very useful that many people are talking about. Just this session on the habits by James Clear, it's a reminder to me. A lot of times, it can get me motivated back again to be consistent next week or next week. So there must be. I always try to study what are some other leaders in the field are doing. Uh, how much does, for example, I read something about, uh, does Bill Gates study something? He's an IT guy. Does Elon Musk recommend something? What are the leaders in their respective fields? Do they support studying? Do they talk about studying only books, or do they also talk about uh, you know books that they recommend? So, for example, one point of time when I was younger, there's a book I studied called The Speed of Thought, and it was recommended by Bill Gates. So during that period, it was very interesting for me to read this. You get a lot of new ideas, you get some new thoughts and new processes that inspires you. So I've over the period of last maybe 20-25 years, occasionally, I don't say that I read every single day these kind of books, whether it is management, self-help, technology. Everybody needs some breaks occasionally, but these breaks from the regular routine have tremendously helped me in my career, in my real uh, life, because career is just one part of life, one big part. However, it has also helped me in many, many other areas of my life.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And so we have our audience here, and I would like if any one of you could share what you're currently working towards, and is there any goals that you've set, and if you're finding it difficult to stick with your routine of pursuing those goals, and how are you finding it easy or difficult in the pursuit of your uh, goals or target goals? I would be so happy if uh, anyone could share your progress or how it's been for you. Get science.
Hello.
Yeah, hi Jackie.
Good morning, Arun sir. Good morning, everyone.
I had read this book, Atomic Habit, a little time ago. I would like to share about what I remember from that. Like as you said that breaking a bad habit, you mentioned the example of smoking. So it was written there like in order to make good habits, it's a little bit tougher because good things take time to inculcate. So uh, I would take the example of gym. For example, if I need to get fit, so it is a really different task to wake up in the morning and do exercise and all. So bound yourself by paying for it. For example, if I want to get fit, I will pay the membership fees in the gym. It will tell my brain, signal my brain every morning that you have paid something for it from your hard-earned money. So go to gym and work for yourself, work for your body. So this is what I think that it is necessary. And as Arun sir said, like breaks about break how it is important. So I would like to share one thing. It suddenly came into my mind. I had watched a movie a long time back, Mission Mangal. You all might have saw that movie. In that movie, when the rocket was launched, there was some glitch, technical glitch there. So they have shown that uh, someone from ISRO, I don't remember her name. She turned off all the systems, like rebooted all the things uh, in there. So everything just working properly. After that, the satellite also gone into self repair mode and all those things. So yeah, taking breaks and rebooting and restarting in life is really important. I think, as Arun sir mentioned, it helps in different ways. It frees our mind to think on the problem, and then solution come within from our mind only. We do not need any person or guide sometimes to get through it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And that is true. That is true what Arun said. That is true what you've shared also. It is very important to take a break, revive, and rejuvenate and everything. And but it is also important to know when, because sometimes the downside of taking breaks is you start to take breaks justifying yourself it is needed even when it's not. So it's okay if you have like a system, or say it's every Sunday you spend these many hours watching a movie, or you spend these many hours going out. So you set aside different kinds of break for different parts of the week, so that you don't get into the rabbit hole of taking breaks every now and then. And so that is what building habits is all about. You also build a habit to take a break. You also build a habit of going out, and going on whichever kind of break that you desire. Yeah, that is true. So anyone else who's got something to share about the goals or habit forming, or what you think is working for you? Okay, so yeah. If that is, yeah, Pratik.
Good morning, good evening, everyone, in whichever time zone you are. So, likewise, I hope all of you are doing very well. Is my voice audible and clear?
Yes, you're perfectly audible.
Sure thing. Thank you. So, likewise, from the past few days, I was feeling a little bit lethargic, not means active. What do we say? Physical wise, and so I was feeling very much lethargic. Um, but then well, we say that we subscribe to like gym subscription for 1 month, for 1 year, and then we don't start to attempt for even a single day. So therefore, I started gym. I think that this might be like a little bit out of topic regarding books, if we are specifically per se. But definitely, I would like to share this. Yes, I started gymming, and so, but I was not consistent enough. From day one, day two, I felt little bit hectic. Like, how do I start the next day? But at the end of the day, what I try to teach myself is that He just plan for the next day, for the next moment. Don't plan for like 1 years or 2 years down the line. I'll become this and become that. Uh, Perspective to a gym perspective itself. Sometimes it's not necessary that you plan for a long-term event. So I definitely like break down this habit onto the next day itself, and keeping the next day. I'm so happy to share that I've built this habit over the past month, and I've been consistent enough. So this was the all the physical perspective. On the mental perspective, also I had this bad habit of mindlessly scrolling over Instagram reels and such. Thereafter, I switched. Means We can say for developing or what do we say? Stopping this habit. What do? We stop this abruptly. That I will not start watching Instagram on the next day itself. So that will do it in a more negative manner. So what did I did? I replaced it with a new habit of watching Coursera courses, subscribing to new courses, new materials as such, and in all of this activities, your environment is very much important. So I definitely shifted my apartment, my environment. That also helped me a lot. Living with positive people, helped me um, to think positively as such. So that is all I wanted to share.
Excellent,
Uh,
Pratik. This is very good because, as you rightly pointed out, we are not just about talking about books when we talk about habits. Anything, any good habit, whether it is gymming or meeting the right mentors, anything can come under can be classified as habit. So, thank you for sharing.
Arun sir,
or- yeah, go ahead.
yesterday I was watching a video of an Elon Musk. It was a motivational video. If you, the host Harun sir, and you Vaishnavi ma'am, allow me, could I share the link of that? Because I think it was really inspirational. In that,
Absolutely. Please go ahead. And like I said, this is not just me or Vaishnavi talking. This is basically to get people to start speaking because not only we love motivational videos occasionally. Elon Musk is known to have said whether you have motivation or no motivation, you just keep the discipline and you keep going. That's what I like most about one particular video of his. At the same time, I would like to say that um, thank you for sharing that. I'm seeing that you have shared a YouTube video. So guys, the idea behind these sessions is you get, not only you learn something new or refresh your cement your understanding about what you've already read, but also share it with people, because when you apply for real jobs or when you take interviews, all these things, all these habits, the way, for example, if I just notice, if suppose I haven't read the book yet, maybe I don't have any plans to read it next 3 days, it does not matter. But if I observe how Vaishnavi is conducting herself, if this was an interview, how she conducted herself, or how other people are volunteering and sharing their stories, this thing will, we have a group called business communication. The idea behind this is that people come up, people share stuff so that you get in the habit of talking and conversing well. Everybody does not have to be a perfect English speaker. As long as you're able to communicate your ideas uh, to another person, it's okay, because sometimes it improves your confidence when you're speaking at interviews. That was another purpose with which we started, which Vaishnavi started these sessions. So please, guys, keep participating in these kind of sessions. Back to Vaishnavi.
Yes. Thank you, Arun, and thank you, Jackie, for sharing the video. And I
I
see
would,
Pratik.
sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to share in the gist what it is in the video. He has explained how 1 hour daily in the morning transformed his life, his personal life, as well as his professional life in SpaceX and Tesla. So I would highly recommend you all to just listen that it is a really nice video. I watched it twice in the morning also and when I was returning from work. So I would definitely recommend all of you to just watch it. It's really worth it.
Of course, thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Everyone, just have that link, and once the session gets over, go to YouTube, watch that, and share what you think in the book club WhatsApp group that we have. And yes, Pratik.
So yes, I would like to share one thing. It's like habits start only and only with actions. Howsoever means people we meet or howsoever videos we watch or howsoever whatever we do, but that 5 minutes of action, just 5 minutes, just 16 to 5, 300 seconds, and no one is too busy of spending 300 seconds over a single new habit every day. Just trust me, when you start this habit of just spending 300 seconds on a new thing, now you will feel a little bit rejuvenated from inside. See, some might have to start a habit of reading books, some might have starting of reading books, something like that. Whatever you do in your life, man, but at least start something new. Definitely as small as 300 seconds, not more than that. And definitely when you means persistency and dedication is the most what do we say khatanak tool, what do we say, in today's era. One can beat education, knowledge, everything else, but one cannot beat a person who is dedicated and who is showing himself or herself every day, single day, uh, to commit and is committed to do something new every single day. So likewise, I just needed to share that just try spending this 300 seconds on new something. Maybe meet a new person or whatever you feel you may like, but definitely do that. I would suggest. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Pratik. And that is very true. Persistence is one of the crucial factors when you're pursuing a goal or pursuing to become someone. It is very important to persist at what you do. And I see that we have a lot of gym goers. And first of all, I'm going to start using the word gymming because it's very cool. And second, yeah, I am so happy to hear that people are working on themselves and choosing to go to the gym. And even if you're not consistent at it, I know that you're working towards becoming consistent, and that is so great to hear. Mm. Okay, so a personal example, again, an anecdote from my very not so engaging life is I started working towards my next transition to my next career level, or whatever you call it. So I'm working on transitioning. My uh, career is now at a very a stable, it's going in a very stable pace. And yes, I'm looking towards going towards the next exciting step. So when I started doing this, it's also something that James Clear talks about in this book. He says, when you start doing this and you start seeing results of your work, your brain will adapt to you using the same system, same strategies to achieve the same result again. I got my first interview, and then I started analyzing like what got me this interview. I have to keep doing it. Something that I did right is working out, and now I got this interview. So what I did, at first, it is overwhelming. There are a lot of resources. There are a lot of things to do. Even for the gym goers, there are a lot of tips and tricks. And I've seen when I started going to the gym, I started watching these videos on Instagram. There are like so many tricks, tips, and guidance, and there are a lot of people there, like hacks. So mindlessly, I just started clicking on those videos, and now after a few weeks, my algorithm just keeps pushing me those videos, and I started, no, this is not why I started going to the gym. This transformation, these videos, they are not helping me. I'm just watching it to see relatable content, and they are not helping me anyway. So I changed, I watched other videos so that my algorithm is changed. And that is how I redirected myself to the actual goal that I wanted to pursue when I started out. Sorry for the deviation. I'll get back to my career transition thing. So there were a lot of resources. There are a lot of experience sharing sessions, like in the COE, and there are people who have come from different backgrounds, a variety of backgrounds. You would not believe how many people are transitioning into how many different diverse roles. So the direction that I want to take is not linear at all. Believe me, there are no guidance. There is not someone who could just hold my hand and say, "Hey, do this next, do this next." It's not as easy as it is. But I started out. I did something. I took the minimal viable action, which is to apply to a job to see how it goes, to get the feedback. And then if something is lacking, of course, things will be lacking because you're just starting out to apply. And I would get feedback, and I would start uh, working on that feedback, then apply to the next one. So when I got my first interview, it went well. I did well. Whatever I could with the qualifications and the eligibility and my experience, I portrayed it well. I spoke well in the interview. Everything went smoothly, but there is always someone out there who is more competitive, who's more qualified for that job, or they just did something differently. And when I reached out to the recruiter, the person who interviewed me, the panel, and everyone, they gave me solid advice, to the point email reply that said, "Hey, we interviewed these many candidates. You are one of them, and we have you on the top list. But here are the things that you lack." And that was very, very helpful for me because right next day I started working on improving myself in those aspects, because if that is what I'm lacking, and I'm perfectly capable of doing those things because I've done all these many things, do all these many courses, all these learning, all those hours of work to become this person who's in the top 5 or top 2 of candidates who are interviewed. And now these are like very few simple things that I can work on. It will take time, of course, with my work, with my everyday routine. It's going to take time, but it is something that is possible. And if it's something possible, you should definitely go for it. So that is what I wanted to share, in the sense of James Clear addressing that if something is working out, your brain will definitely recognize that it's working out, and it will start working or trying to find ways, find strategies to make it work again. So, like, believe in the process, believe in the minimal viable action that you take every day. Um, and after this, the author goes on listing the different steps of habit forming, which we will definitely cover in the next session. But up to this, I think we've addressed the chapters that we had loaded for this session. And I would love to hear from you if you have started reading the book again, if you've read it already, or if you've never read it and somehow maybe listening to the session has convinced you to pick up the book and read again. I'd be so happy to hear from you.
Vaishnavi, thank you so much for leading the session. Can you give us a brief about what can we expect in the coming session or future sessions, and how frequently do you intend to organize these kind of things? Because, like I said, these things just don't help. The sole purpose of this is not just reading books or encouraging people to read books. It's also about indirectly, very subtly, it also helps people to stand up, talk about something that's close to their heart. It does not have to be this book, it can be anything else. But when people get into the habit of uh, standing up, participating, sharing their ideas, this is how you'll also become better at interviews. When you go in, many of you are either switching careers, like Vaishnavi pointed. People will start slowly and gradually becoming better at it.
Yes. So these sessions, there will be 4 or 5 more sessions on this book. And also, I'm scheduling it based on the number of chapters I could finish in a week. But no pressure on anyone, because everyone reads at a different pace. So if you're just turning up to this session every week, which I plan to conduct every week, and if you're just planning to read it, but you couldn't find the time, and if you're just turning up for the sessions, that is also perfectly good, because you're trying, and I'm proud of you for doing that. And maybe at the end of the session, when we have discussed all the chapters in the book, all the struggles, all the joyful moments that you want to share, anything personal, anything vulnerable, at the end of the session, I just hope that someone picks up a book, any book, pick any book, and starts to read. And the reading part, the habit forming part, is only to give a direction to these sessions. But all the book club sessions that are hosted by me is to give a safe space, or have people talk openly about whatever they're facing emotionally or professionally, in terms of how much ever vulnerability they can show, they're free to do so. So we as a group of professionals could support you and enable you to become a better person. That is the whole point of me talking to you.
Fantastic, Vaishnavi. For those of you who haven't seen, sometime back, I think we did a experience sharing session with Vaishnavi where she spoke about her career, the milestones, and a lot of good stuff. So if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and ask Prem Sai or even ask Vaishnavi. She'll be happy to share a life story, and you might have something to learn from her story. And we'd also love for you to share your stories either in these seminars or in the groups and writing or whatever way you can reach out. It'll help everyone. I mean, we're all here in this safe space, like Vaishnavi pointed out, to help each other, to learn from each other. And I'm looking forward to Vaishnavi's next upcoming session. Thank you. Prem, thanks a lot. Is there
Thank you,
anybody in the
Vaishnavi.
audience? Is there anybody in the audience who would like to say any last word or anything that they have in mind? Shardul, Mukesh, Sujata, Chandan, anyone? Jackie?
I would like to say hearty thank you to Arun sir and Vaishnavi ma'am for organizing such event. It was really nice to speak my thoughts with you all, share my thoughts with you all. And I must say this that Arun sir, you are not just a person, like you are really great mentor. I have not I do, will you believe me, I don't know your full name. I just know Arun sir. I have saved your number as Arun sir. Today I saw that your full name is Arun Shiva, but it
Trust
it
me,
really
whatever I'm learning with guys like Ashok, guys like Vaishnavi, Prem Sai, Akriti, everybody. We all talk to each other quite often, and we are learning from each other. So, and we are learning from many students who, regardless of what stream they come from, what age group that we are in, we have people in the group, and many of them are students who come from XYZ stream, and they are from 18 years old to, I think, the latest I've seen is 50 years old. So we have all kinds of people in our groups who are either learners of courses or learners of life, or and they have so much to share. We have very experienced people. Some of them have, you'll be surprised, some of them have they have been an interviewer at places like Amazon, Google. We have technical experts. We have all kind of experts, not just in technology but also in business and finance. So anybody who does not, who's I'll use this opportunity to share with you. If you do not know all the things that COE does, then it's a good idea to reach out to Prem or reach out to Ruby Gunna or reach out to any of the leads and ask them to provide you with a. I think last year Prem and I did a presentation about what COE is all about, what the various groups inside that, what do we call as premium groups, what are regional groups, what are the activities of each group, and how you can. There was so much to learn uh, from the sessions we've had. So many resumes we have reviewed. We've done a lot of things. One of these is we'll keep having sessions like this. We keep talking to each other, and yeah. Thank you, guys. Anybody else other than Jackie?
yes, sir. I just wanted to add one small thing. As you are hosting the event, I would like to host a little bit. Sorry. I would like to say that I like social work and doing this social related work, like in going into NGOs and all that. I would
Mhm.
like to share that. See, this is an example. Arun Shiva sir is an example, and Vaishnavi Murali Krishnan ma'am. That in this today's 21st century, we don't need to be physically present somewhere to help or share your insights with someone and to grow further in life. This 21st century is so much powerful that we are sitting far more from each other. Someone might be sitting in USA, someone might, as Vaishnavi ma'am said, that she is in Chennai. I am from Mumbai, Ulasnagar. So
Yeah, and
we are
I'm
locally connected.
like I said, I'm currently based in Texas, US. So I'm always in the central time zone. In fact, it's like 1 a.m. in the night right now, and I'm still participating because I love to, you know, especially on Friday, Saturday, Sundays, regardless of what time the sessions are. Uh, I try not to miss sessions by Vaishnavi, by Aradhya, by Ashok, by various other people. We have different kind of very nice people leading these groups. So anybody else other than Jackie wants to say something?
Hello,
Chandan,
Arun.
Mukesh, yeah.
Hello, Arun sir. Yeah, I would like to say. So, as you mentioned that even though it's 1 a.m. at your zone side, yeah, it's really amazing that you are. And I have seen many of your videos in the group with relates to that you are advising them on the resumes. Okay, so that's an amazing work, sir, which you are doing. Okay, even though like I can relate that you are totally down to earth, sir. That being on the highest level, still you are like helping everyone in this particular phase. And second thing to Vaishnavi, it was really a wonderful session. I have this particular book. Many times I have opened this particular book, read only first particular page of it, Seven Habits, then
Yeah.
keeping it inside. But like after listening to you, definitely I will try to read the book at least 1 or 2 pages every day. Will try doing that. Oh,
In the year two, I think it was year 2000 or a little before that, I got myself a copy of the project management body of knowledge. It's a body of knowledge related to the PMP certification and project management in general, right? Right. It has got different knowledge areas, 9 different knowledge areas, and I was at that point of time very interested in this new certification that was many years back. And initially for the first few days I you'll be shocked. The book, I felt it was so dry that I kept it, but I had to do this. I wanted to do this, right? I want to make time for it, so I kept it below my pillow. I used the book as my pillow for some time, and then I decided, okay, I've given so many excuses in life, let me start reading it. Then when I started reading it, it was still dry, so I joined something called as a Project Management Institute. I joined them and I said, "Hey guys, you guys are having a lot of knowledge. I'm joining the XYZ chapter in a particular city, and what I would like to do is I would love to volunteer or participate or do something. I want to be associated with you." And at that point of time, they said, "Well, the fee for joining us is so and so." And I realized that I mean it was not much, but still it was for when you're in younger years. I mean you don't have a lot of money saved, so I said, what if I volunteer for something? I got to participate freely because I wanted to volunteer, right? So within few months, I not only became the lead volunteer. From a lead volunteer, I became long story short, I became the VP of Vice President of PMI, and I managed. I went on their board in a short period of time, and I was the guy who would advise multiple chapters across the US, and then I became a advisor from the PMI side, which would advise multiple chapters on project management. I did the same thing for Institute of Business Analysis called IIBA, and I got to be on the board of many such things just because I picked up one book sometime and I decided to not just sleep over it, but do something about it. So that's how it's a long story, but I'm trying to keep it short. And so these habits, when once we form them, like Vaishnavi pointed out, these initially we don't realize how they're impacting us, but slowly, gradually, if you keep a consistent habit, there are a lot of people who become your friends, who become your advisors, who become your uh, there are a lot of times when I just want to vent out. So people are there to hear me out, or I'm there to hear them out, and there's a tremendous progress that everybody can make because of these kind of things. All right,
Sir, the hands off to you, sir. Really doing a wonderful work, sir.
if I would have met Vaishnavi, in 20, I don't know, 2000, if I would have met her then or a little before that, I would have probably, made more progress in life than I have made so far. Uh, with that, I want to hear maybe one more person, then we wrap up. How about Chandan or Mukesh?
Hey, hi Arun sir, how are you?
Good.
Mukesh here. So I'm a DB actually, Oracle DBA.
Okay,
It's
good.
been 10 years since I'm working in IT.
Wow.
Doing well in a company, but I have I'll not say a bad package. I would say okay kind of package.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the struggle that I'm having is I'm trying to learn Python.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to learn cloud infra.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still struggling because with day in, day out, whatever work is coming and we have to manage projects, right? After 10 years,
Right.
actually, we have to kind of lead in
Right.
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Please go ahead first.
yeah, so the biggest challenge that I'm having right now is managing that learning. So I learn daily, but what I learn is like maybe one concept or something, maybe one topic, and that too in very small amount. Then I use tools like ChatGPT to explain. So earlier we used to
Mm.
have mentors, right, whom we need to
Right.
ask questions. So good thing
Mm.
is ChatGPT now it can answer a lot of things and can whatever question is coming we can again
Yeah,
fire.
but of course, you know that with ChatGPT, it's only as good as I mean, you can get thoughts from that. Before ChatGPT, obviously you had Google has now come out with their own AI, Google Gemini, Google Beam, Google this and Google that. In fact, they just Sundar Pichai just gave a presentation. I think there's a presentation also some similar by Microsoft. So there's also this GPT type stuff from Elon Musk. So we have a lot of GPTs. The problem is not GPTs. The mentors still have a lot of value because the mentors can tell you they can differentiate between a good GPT and a bad GPT, because not all GPTs are equal, and GPTs can only like assist you. Think of them as tools, but they are not masters of humans, right? Um, Also, I would like to say the second point I would like to make is lot of Oracle DBAs, lot of Oracle people who've been in the industry long time, regardless of whether they're Oracle. Oracle is a big. The entire Oracle suite is a lot of. When I say finance, it's an umbrella term which has a lot of things inside it. Similarly, when I say AI or GPT, there's so many nuances to it. But a lot of people are reaching out to us, the COE, for especially the Oracle people. Most of them are done with the traditional ways of doing stuff. They are getting into cloud computing, and majority of them are doing things like cloud computing on Azure platform. They're learning about data engineering because that's where the industry is headed, and the government and the private companies, they're spending a hell lot of money, and the market is currently very good right now. As we are speaking, as of May 2025, the market is really good. So this is the time to take advantage. I would like you to go to YouTube, or maybe go to our showcase stuff, showcase group, and find out an article which I just posted from YouTube. I think it's on Project Stargate. It's actually called as Project Ludicrous, but it's about Stargate. Figure out what Stargate is and what is it doing in Texas, and why that will create a number of job opportunities not only here in US but also worldwide. Also figure out, you should read as an Oracle DBA, you should read about what for example, the moment you look at that presentation, that one presentation with about the Stargate, you will see some other people like Satya Nadella, like Eric. Uh, I think there's one more gentleman from some bank. I do not remember his name, but I cannot pronounce his name right now, but I'll remember it soon. But if you see all those leaders, whether they were of Oracle or Microsoft, they are investing very, very heavily in all in cloud computing, AI, and stuff. So it is a very natural progression if you move from traditional database management systems into cloud computing. It's not only a necessity. We have seen it. In fact, yesterday or day before yesterday, a lot of people from companies like Google and PayPal and I think I just spoke to like 4 different gentlemen from 4 different companies. They had been DBAs 15, 20 years. They were double your experience, and 3 of them were laid off, and 1 was planning to switch. And these are from different places in India and the US. And this is what is happening in the industry. So if you do not form a habit, going back to the topic of habits, if you don't form the right habits at the right time, by the time you realize what has happened to you, it'll be too late. So my session is, first of all, thank you for showing up at the seminar. And I'm sure, you will, whether it is learning Python, learning cloud computing, it will do you really good. All right, guys, it's time to wrap up. But thanks everyone for showing up, and we will continue our sessions. A great time. Many thanks to Vaishnavi and our Prem Sai and Akriti who worked behind the scenes to bring you these wonderful sessions. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vaishnav.
Thank you, everyone. See you in the next session. Thank you, Prem.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.